hate to be the bearer of bad news.
All right. So got that. Okay. So now I just have to look at the chat for restream.
It's live. I'm seeing us on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm seeing us. You're seeing us on TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm looking for.
Oh, seeing some comments.
Let's chat. Chat is ready to display messages. Okay, I'm waiting for the. Okay, there. I'm seeing us on TikTok now. All right, well, I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. I guess. All right. Hey,
Hello, everybody.
everybody. Okay, cool. So they're seeing us on Instagram. Let me check Instagram. And then, hey, y'all. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Cool. Okay.
Yes, sweet and spicy Pisces. Congratulations on your book, friend. Yes, I'm halfway through it and I'm loving it. So let me be a boyfriend who plugs his other boyfriend. Buy his book. You can get it on Amazon and the other things. It's a really fun, easy read, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm getting to know him in a way I didn't know him before. So hello, everyone that's popping in.
It's been a while, everybody. Hey, everybody. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Rolling. It's rolling. We're good, babe. We're good. Perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done one of these, but I've also been just not. It takes a lot of energy to get on live and to do a live. I don't think I realized how much I was like really burnt out from the lives. So for me, it was one of those like, okay, maybe it's time for me to take a break, take a breather, and just kind of focus on self care. Which I mean, that sometimes we have to prioritize our own self care. So I decided to take some time to recover and focus on myself and kind of disconnect mentally just to recover my energy. Just because I mean, it's been a year, but now I'm at a point where I'm starting to get my energy back. And even then, like I was just talking to my friend Ray, she was here for the month of July while I was in Portland for a month. And I was just telling her, I was like, yeah, I'm having trouble just like wanting to get on live. I'm feeling like every time I want to jump on here and connect with you all, I like my body just freezes and it doesn't want to do it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to respect that and just like let that be. And it's okay. Like, so if you need to do the same thing with certain things in your life, it's okay. I know that some people have activities and things that they participate in that sometimes can be a bit much, overwhelming. I think, babe, you were talking about taking a break from kickball. Um,
Yeah, I was just thinking, and I remember this has always been the case to me. I was going to say, because it's also summer, and people, I, in fact, had a therapist that when I had my therapist, I asked him, I was like, is there such thing as reverse seasonal affective disorder,
yeah.
where rather than getting depressed in the winter when the light is low and it's cold and it's gross outside, I was like, is there a thing about like summer seasonal depression? Because quite often, if it's hot, if it's gross, I just want to sit inside where it's cool and just
Mhm.
watch TV or just do very little. And maybe that's just been a thing that's been conditioned into me since, our school calendars that just like remind us that we have to be busy September through June. And then when we aren't, it's just like take it easy. But I asked him that. I was like, "Is there a thing?" And he very politely and very kindly informed me that not a thing, most likely, that people tend not to get reverse seasonal affective disorder. But yes, Vivian, the summertime sadness, yeah, just sometimes we just need a break from things and a break from, and it's nice to, I think it's nice to kind of enjoy the flow of seasons and just to give ourselves the break of, if I'm not feeling it right now, trust that maybe in 3 months as a new season rolls through, that it will, that I'll feel better and I'll feel more energetic and more. We got to take breaks, otherwise we get burnt out on things, and being burnt out doesn't help anyone out with anything.
Yeah. That, and also like all of the craziness in the world right now, it's like it feels like a bombardment of just
Wait, what's
craziness.
going on in the world?
I don't know. I mean, I heard some stuff was going on. I didn't,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And it still feels like a lot. I mean, I think today, for the first time in a few weeks or months, I didn't turn on the news. Usually I tune into the Today Show and I'm like, yeah, it's the same crap. And I don't feel like tuning in to hear something that I'm not really going to get triggered by. So instead I decided to meditate and read and write some notes down, my thoughts down. And then I went for a jog on the treadmill for about 15-20 minutes before I started my day. It was okay. I mean, I know some people like, I don't watch the news, or I don't watch them. I get it. I have to watch the news once or twice a week minimum, just because if I don't, I feel like I'm out of the loop. And sometimes, I mean, I'll check TikTok and get my news from like Aaron Parnas or one of the other Midas Touch guys, just to find out what's going on or anything that I need to do. But right now it's just a bombardment of drama. So I'm like, okay, I don't need to be checked into every freaking day's worth of crap.
Well, and you made the smart choices today, baby, because now that I'm hooked into the data, like all of the day-to-day developments of how the world is just slowly collapsing, and then when there's a day that like nothing new happens, then it's just the like, I'm like, no, I've heard about the story. No, I heard he was walking out on the roof. Like, no, I want to, like, I need new things. I need new things. Yeah, no, I heard about the bomb scare in Illinois. No, I heard of, Texas. I heard about all the people who, like, I need something new. Give me something new. What else has happened? And then I spent a good chunk of today chasing videos of like, no, something new is going to happen. Something new is going to pop up.
Yeah.
And I could have been doing other things. Should have been doing other things.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you made good choices today.
Yeah. I didn't have a choice. I had to. I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and just get through the day without stressing out about something.
Okay, this incense is too much for me right now.
No, I love it. I love the incense. Actually, I'm really loving the like smoke and all that.
Smoking me out.
It feels very mystical and.
Sure, but then people are going to be like, Blaine, do you have a lot of spirits just crashing in around you? I'm like, no, it's just a stick of incense.
Let them. Just say no, like it's whatever you want. It's whatever you want.
Right.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we're here to do readings and answer questions and chit chat as well. Oh, a few updates. By the way, go ahead and like put your questions in the comment section below. So we are on all platforms right now. We are on Instagram, TikTok. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube, I believe, as well. Should be on YouTube. Yeah, we are on YouTube as well. We're on all the platforms. So if you want to ask a question, ask it. Try to be specific, get to the point, because if you ask for a general message, I don't have time to figure out what you want to know. And I would rather you get what you want from me than to hope that I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, like right before we get on camera, I had a 30-minute meeting with your spirit guide and they want you to know, yeah, I don't have time for that. Just like get to the point so I don't waste my energy. And so be specific, get to the point. Like, are John and I going to work out? Are my finances going to get better in the next few months? Am I going to get a job soon? Like, those are specific questions. What do you see for me? What can you tell me about? If you have to start a question with what can you tell me about? I can tell you about a lot of things. I don't have time for the bullshit though. So I need you to get to the point. So that's where I need y'all to be at. So you can get exactly what you need from the situation. It's so interesting. I'm reminded of a situation that happened recently with a session that I was doing. It was a mediumship session. The way that I conduct my mediumship sessions, because this is something that I figured out a long time ago. I hate wasting time when I'm using my abilities. I just hate wasting time. I want to give you what you need. I want to get to the point. I want to give you something impactful, meaningful, all of the above. But sometimes people come into sessions with the mindset of, well, I want to see if he's legit. I want to see if he's real, or I shouldn't have to tell him anything. I'm like, okay, I understand that mindset, that thought process. If you get a psychic reading from me, I can go through an entire life reading, health and wellness, finances, career and work relationships within 20 minutes. And I can be very specific, and you don't have to say a damn thing to me until we're at the end of the 10 minutes session. But when it comes to spirit communication or connecting with those in spirit, I want to make sure I'm connecting with the right individual, but that's not always who's going to come through. So what I usually do is, because I want to make sure I'm intending to connect with that person. And it's no different than if you give me a person's ring to hold and I'm trying to use that ring to kind of tune in and hone into that person's signature, their energy signature, which is a form of psychic sensing. It's no different than that. So if you come to me for a mediumship session, I'm going to ask you for a face picture of the person you want to connect to. You don't have to give it to me. I don't need it to do a session. But I ask for that because I use that as first of all, I like to see who I'm talking to, and I don't see them. I mean, I can see things in my mind, but I don't see them as far as like I'm seeing you in front of me. But I want to be able to like focus in on them. And so I like to see who I'm talking to. So I like to have a face picture of the person that you want to connect to. I don't need any other information. And sometimes people will overdo it. I just literally want the face. Like I literally just want the face. But sometimes people will give me the little card that has like their name and their date of birth and death date. I'm like, what are you doing? Like you're telling me too much. I didn't ask for all that. I'm just asking for like a face picture. But I had a session where, and sometimes if a person doesn't have a picture because they just don't have one, I'll just ask for the connection. If you don't have a face picture of the person, that's okay. Just what's the connection? Don't give me a name. Don't give me all that extra information. That's something that I should be able to tune into if it's going to come up for me, because I try to focus on bringing up those details. But just give me the connection. Oh, I'd like to connect to my mom, please. Perfect. That's all I need. My mom. Okay, got it. Well, that or a face picture, I'm good with that. So the reason why I don't like wasting time is because I've gone to see mediums in public, and I've gone to these events, and I don't care for the medium floating around the audience trying to figure out who they're talking to. I don't like that. It's a waste of my energy. It's a waste of my time. And I haven't had the best experience when I've seen it. What I prefer is, hey, who do you want to talk to? Here's a picture of their face, or my mom. Perfect. That's who you want to connect to. Let me see if I can get that person on the line. And then I will open up intending to hopefully connect to mom. That's my priority. But sometimes that's not who comes through first. Someone else might come through, which is okay. It happens all the time. But as long as I know that I got to connect to mom at some point to try to get mom on the line, that's what I'm still going to try to prioritize. That's still what I'm going to try to force my energy to connect with. But sometimes people will come into a mediumship session, and I will say, okay, I didn't see a picture in your uploaded file. Did you just want to give me the connection so that I can tune in to that, try to get that person on the line at some point and prioritize them? Sometimes people will come back and say like, oh no, it's whoever wants to come in, whoever wants to come in. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm good with that, because that opens the door for me to just go wherever the person's whoever's coming through, whoever's what I'm going to connect with. However, people sometimes do that. They say whoever's going to come through, but they're actually wanting to connect to the father. And they're like, well, I wanted to connect to my dad. I'm like, why didn't you say you wanted to connect to your dad? Because I can prioritize that connection, but unless I know that's who you really want to connect with, it's going to be hard for me to distinguish energies, and I'm not going to make that a point. But if you're just open to whoever, I'm happy opening up to whoever. You might hear from your best friend from middle school whose mom passed away. You might hear from the mom's best friend. And you're like, well, I didn't want to talk to my mom's best friend. I wanted to talk to my dad. Well, why did you say whoever? So be intentional, be specific. It's not going to make a damn difference to the medium, because if a medium is a medium and they're actually doing it, it doesn't matter if you told them, I want to connect to my dad, or here's a face picture of them, because what they bring through and the information that they bring through is going to get validated. And that's what you need to pay attention to. If you go to the doctor and you say, doctor, heal me. And the doctor's like, okay, well, where are you hurting at? Or what are you experiencing? And you're like, oh, well, I want you to just tell me and invalidate what I'm experiencing. The doctor's like, they're a troubleshooter. That's what doctors are paid for, to troubleshoot. They're like, okay, I don't have 100 hours today to run 1,000 tests. Like, I need you to like tell me what's hurting so I can focus my efforts on that. And that's how it works. Sometimes you need to be intentional so that way you can get out of the situation or experience what you need. At the end of the day, if the doctor can help you, they're going to make your pain go away, or they're going to assess what's going on, and they're going to be able to show you through evidence, hey, it looks like your liver is failing. Here are the tests. Here are the results. It's verified, right? Medium, same thing. If you want to connect to a spirit, who do you want to connect to? I do not need the name or any of that extra information, just the connection or a face picture, if that's what it's going to be, if it's going to be a one-on-one with me. But be intentional. Don't waste time, because the evidence will come through whether you give that piece of information or not. It doesn't make a world of difference. So that's what I would suggest whenever you're going to get a session with the medium. With the psychic, it's a different story. It depends on the psychic and how they conduct their sessions. I ask for specific questions because, again, I don't want to waste time trying to figure out what you want to know. Now, if we're doing a full life reading, I have no problem taking 20 minutes to just talk about everything and anything that I'm sensing and feeling. And then you can ask me your questions, and that's fine. But if you're doing like a Q&A, which is what we're doing right now, this is a Q&A, an opportunity for you to get a question answered. Then at this point, you want to ask a specific question so that way you can get out of it what you need. Now, I will tune in and I will tell you like what I'm seeing, what I'm getting, what's coming up around that. Blaine is going to read some cards for you, and he will give you a sense of what he's feeling, what he's picking up, how he's interpreting that information as well. And you'll get both of us to answer the question, so that way you can get both of our sides or both of our takes on it. We may not agree, we may not agree, but usually we do. Because it's kind of hard for amazing people not to agree with each other. So.
I was going to say, sometimes I wouldn't say we don't necessarily agree. We just see different sides of a larger point, of a larger thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the goodies, all the things. If you do want to connect with the loved one in spirit, because I can't bring you on video like I have in the past, I'm going to just give you a few pieces that come through, or a few tidbits, and hopefully you can understand that. If I think it may be someone different or some other connection, I'll let you know. But that's usually how it's going to go. Okay. All right. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Okay, so we're going to start with, what do we start with?
Well, wait, while he's looking for who we're going to start with, it's my turn to do some plugging.
Oh, yeah. Plug.
If you have it, wrong hand. Buy that book. If you joined me earlier, he wrote it. It's out. It came out a few months ago. I'm halfway through it. I'm mad at myself that I'm not further through it, but it's a really beautiful, enjoyable, easy read. And it's given me insights into him that I hadn't had before, and it's giving me just some great information about his life and his world, how he works, how we can all sort of tap into our own stuff. It's on Amazon. It's on where else is it, babe? It's Amazon,
Barnes and Nobles, and you can just get there to my website. I am going to be offering signed copies through my site. I just haven't gotten there yet, which was part of the news, guys. So I am. Those of y'all who don't know, I moved from Houston to Santa Fe, New Mexico in 2018. And now officially I'm moving to Portland later this year. So I'll be in Portland in hopefully by October, probably by the end of October, I'll be in Portland. But coordinating a move of this scale is huge. It's also not just moving. It's not just moving physically, geographically. I also have to effectively dissolve my LLC, which is based in New Mexico and Texas, dissolve it and redo it in Oregon, so that way it would be cheaper to do, and also it's going to cost me less in taxes, which is what I'm trying to like reduce because taxes are killing me, y'all. Taxes are killing me. But yeah, so that's the news. So, but I mean, those, I know some of you are watching. Like you don't live in Houston. I haven't lived in Houston since 2018, but a majority of my base is still in Texas. Is still in Houston. You'd be surprised that the majority of my base is still in Texas. So, all right.
Also, if you haven't, visit our websites, sign up for our newsletters, join us, follow us on all the socials. I am Blaine Reads Tarot. Oh, other side. Blaine Reads Tarot on all the socials. Fernie, obviously, you're here on his page, so you probably know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the plugging for now. Now we'll get into some reads.
Yep. All right. So first question. Let's go here. Let's see. There you go. Miriam, will my boyfriend and I ever get married? What are you seeing around that, babe?
I feel like this is a good sign. It's Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is it's your emotional center. It's also about partnership. It's about new love. It's about new love of self. It's about pouring these two little cups floating out in the universe together. And so it feels like that partnership is in your future in that way. What are you seeing, babe?
I agree. I think you are going to be getting married. I think it's going to take, see, we're in August 2026, 2027. I want to say y'all may be getting married. The part of it is I feel like you might want this to be more of like a wedding type thing, or you may want to kind of take it to that level with this. I just don't feel like that's going to be the case. Y'all may just get married via court or do it like it does feel like a very simple, small type thing with maybe like a nice dinner or something like that. So I'm thinking it's going to be small scale. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like it's going to end up happening. It's weird. It's a weird timing for it to happen because I was thinking of December 2027, but I'm like, why would people get married between Thanksgiving and Christmas? Like that wouldn't make sense to me unless it's just you're just gonna do
Oh,
it.
I know many people who've had December weddings.
Really?
It's becoming it's becoming like a new time of year to do like winter weddings because everyone does it. Everyone used to do it in June.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm seeing December.
And then like summers fill up, and so December weddings are getting big.
Interesting. Yeah. Well. Also, if you're Miriam, if you're in Houston, that would make sense just because it might be cooler then. But I'm thinking this is going to be in December of 2027. But it does feel like y'all are going to move in the direction of marriage. So I would say yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Go.
All right. So Viviani, I got the magician here for you with around your legal case, and I can never get the sorry, the camera's reversed. I always forget, and so it's not like a mirror, so I have to correct myself in the other direction. So the magician is about you having control over all of the elements. So as far as around like the timing, I don't it is also like a beginning card. So it's the beginning of a journey. So it feels like maybe it won't be resolved soon, but to trust in yourself, trust that you have to have what you need, that you are in control, you can, and also that this is encouraging maybe that there's something you can do. This is about willpower, manifestation, determination. And so maybe there's something you can do personally because you are in control of all the elements to move the case forward, to resolve it sooner. I don't know if I hope that resonates. What do you see, babe?
I think I'm trying to do something random here. Okay. Yeah, I was going to try to like take a snapshot of someone's picture, because I can't see the comments on TikTok, so I'm having to go back and forth between my phone and the screen. Okay, back to what we're doing here. Viviani, so will my legal case be resolved soon? I feel like you have to, it feels like you're going to have to go through this process on three separate occasions, or you might have three separate hearings or three separate events take place with this, because it feels like there's the first initial stage where the way that this is going to be handled gets decided, and then this moves into a different type of filing, and then at that point that becomes more of a going back and forth, back and forth. I do think that it will get resolved, but I feel like between the first and second stages and that final stage, it feels like that's going to take some time. And I still don't think you're going to be happy with the outcome, meaning that it's almost like the determination. I think you're going to have something come up around April of 2026. I feel like the determination is not what you would want. I feel like it's going to feel like whether it's the mediator, or the mediator, or the judge, or I feel like they make a determination and it's not going to be what you want to hear. After that, I feel like you have a 2-year period yet you have to go through to get it all like done. Whether it's you having to do something for 2 years or having to go on a program for 2 years, but there's like a 2-year period that you might have to deal with after that final determination. But I feel like something's coming up around April that might kind of give you a sense of what's happening next. And I feel like after that, it seems to kind of come to a completion or conclusion, if that makes sense.
Also, pull out message, which is that something is coming, a message is coming, but it's part of the definition and meaning of this card is it's coming. Keep an eye out for it, but maybe it's not here yet. Mm-hmm. So it seems like it's yet to be determined for a bit. But it's strange, actually, as Fernie, I pulled it out, and as Fernie was saying, he's got like a 3 months thing, that this card is 3 and 3. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that number, I mean, you know, I wonder if that number will be significant in some way. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like maybe you have a bit of a journey to go with this. But hold on to your own magic, hold on to your own determination, your own willpower. You're in control of this. Even remember that you're in control. You are the master of all the elements. When it feels like maybe something's out of control or not happening the way that you want it to.
I wonder if that has to do with like legal representation or like an attorney, because I keep thinking she might even have to switch attorneys at some point, or she tries to approach it without an attorney and then she has to decide to go with an attorney. And I wonder if that's what makes the difference in the situation. Did you already have to change attorneys once before, or are you in the process of getting some legal help with this in a way that you weren't doing before? Let's see what she says. Because it's like if we just go with what's going on, then that would take it in one direction. But I wonder if she has that ability. I switched attorneys twice. Yeah, so she's already switched attorneys twice. So so that may be where the shift is happening. Yeah, this is going to be a bitch to deal with. I also think,
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, if nothing else, it sounds like a headache, and so empathy for that.
Yeah, I also think that. No, not knocking attorneys, because attorneys are important. They might save us from imploding in this country. But most attorneys that I've heard about, again, no knocking attorneys, y'all take on way too many cases that y'all can't keep up with. And y'all are charging premium dollars for like mediocre services. Meaning if you get a conversation, and I know there are clients out there who are needy as hell, who are going to be calling your ass and like, I get it. And I know, because if people were trying to call me like that, they would not be getting a response from me regularly. But especially, I know. At the same time, like, why are you taking on more cases than you can keep up with or respond to in an appropriate enough time to your clients? If you are taking on a client, you should be able to meet with that individual regularly just to discuss options, changes, things of that nature. And if you're having trouble as an attorney keeping up with the basics required, because I know y'all may think that the basics required are just, talking to people, having connections, networking, going through the documentation, going through all of the files. I know you have a lot on your plate, but some of y'all are just over extending yourselves, overdoing it, and under delivery, underperforming. So I'm just saying there should be something about that, because I've seen that happen way too many times with attorneys. And it's the number one thing that happens with people when they get an attorney. I hired this attorney. They're like one of the best in their industry, and I haven't gotten a call back from them. And I've been calling them for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I haven't heard from them. And it's an ongoing thing. So just saying, there are attorneys that need to work on that. All right. I got one from Sarika, and she's on TikTok. Will I find a good job soon? My current boss being horrible.
Ah. Oh, I got a jumper. Okay, so I've got Ace of Swords for you, which is the beginning, start of something new, new way of thinking, new way of communicating, new way of use that sword to cut through the bullshit. So if your job sucks, this is empowering you to start something new, take something new, seize the sword, use this new way of thinking to work through it. And then the jumper, or well, they both came up. So I don't know which one was the jumper. The Six of Cups. Six of Cups. So it is thinking back to a time that has felt good. A time, often the Six of Cups is around like remembering, fond remembrances of like past stuff. Some of it is tapping into your inner child. But like in this case, I would say if your boss sucks, protect the inner you. And in this case, I'm saying like the inner child here. Goddamn stupid mirrored things. So the inner child, protect your own inner child. So if your work environment sucks, take something new, go something new, find a new way, cut through some of that bullshit. Because I have worked for many horrible bosses and they never improve. So if you know this now going in, I'd say act on getting out of a situation that is not good for you.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Yeah, and did y'all notice I got a TikTok question here up on the screen? So yay, cool. Okay, so yeah, so I'm capturing the TikTok comments now. Yay. Okay. So Sarika, I kind of feel like you're going to stay put for the time being, even though I think that you are frustrated and really feeling disappointed by your boss in being supported. And I do feel that some of this has to do with a type of I feel like the reason your boss is being this way is part of it is I feel like they're just kind of not necessarily being discriminatory, but there's a discriminatory vibe that's coming off of them, in my opinion. So either they might be discriminating against sex or race, but there's something that seems off to me with their behavior. But I don't feel like you're the only person dealing with that type of situation. I actually think there's more than one individual at the job that is dealt with the same kinds of issues with them. I'm not seeing you changing jobs right now. I am seeing you, because I feel like you are going to try. I can see something coming up in December, maybe January, that you're not going to go with because it's just not financially, it's not going to work for you. So I'm kind of seeing you staying put until maybe fall of next year. After that, I do think there's a change either with the area of the organization that you're with, meaning you might change departments or areas, or your boss isn't going to be your boss anymore. You're going to have somebody else pop in as your boss. So I'm thinking it's one of those two that ends up happening next fall, 2026. Now I'm off my timing. It could be this year, and I'm just totally adding a year to the timeline. And I hope for your sake that it is this year and not next year, and that I'm wrong about that. But I'm thinking this is next year. Okay.
Okay, so then I'm going to follow up with this again with the Ace of Swords here. Maybe this isn't that a new path is coming your way. This might be encouraging you to, now that you see who your boss is, they're horrible. And once we see a thing, then we can recognize it when it happens to us, and we can also make the choice on how we deal with it, how we choose to let it affect us. So if this is very much about clear thinking, seeing things in a new way of thinking, something, there's newness here. So this is because this is swords, this is around the mental realm. So how can you, in how you act, if a new job is not on the horizon immediately, how can you change how you communicate, how you think, how you see things, how you see truth clearly in your current work position to protect the little child, to protect the tender parts of you, from this person who has a lot of influence in our lives, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between someone who has a lot of influence in our lives and a difference between someone we give a lot of power over us. So you can take some of your own power back, even if it's silent, even if your boss never knows what's going on, you know. And that if you don't take home all of the toxic, horrible boss with you at night, on the weekends, or whenever your work schedule is, whenever your off time is, that is a new way of seeing, a new way of thinking around a horrible place, because it's not easy to just switch jobs sometimes.
Yeah.
But you need to protect the little tender parts of you, because this is a water sign. So this is all about your emotional center. Use this sword, use this idea, a new way of seeing, a new way of cutting through what I suspect is your boss's bullshit, and just knowing like, great, great. You may be horrible to me right now. I see how horrible you are, and I'm not taking it home
Yeah.
with me, because as soon as I can, I'm the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, and honestly, I think, Sarika, this might be an opportunity that the universe is giving you to stand up for yourself, even if just to be more firm or direct or set boundaries. And oftentimes, people in positions of authority or bosses, they sometimes let the role um, go to their head, and
Yeah, like
they
Bernie's my boss, and he really thinks
mhm,
he can,
mhm,
he thinks he's the boss of me.
yeah. There's another one here. Millie, should I work towards opening my own insurance agency or stay in hospitality?
Hmm. Okay. Okay, so I got the Ace of Cups as an initial one, and I can never remember the mirroring. So Ace of Cups is a new way. It is around your emotional world, and it's a new way of feeling. It is often around new love, perhaps new relationships, or it values all the relationships in our life. Um, but there's a lot of it that is about a new love of self. So I'm not going to give you an answer here. This is just telling me that it's important for you to ask yourself, what do you want? This is a time to show yourself some love in a new way. So does the new, and this is an ace, so it's the beginning of a cycle. It's the beginning of a journey. So does that mean new job? Insurance agency is going to bring you, it's going to pour your water, it's going to fill your cup. Or do you enjoy being in hospitality? And is it not the right time for you? It's asking you to love yourself right
Mhm.
now, find your new way of loving yourself, and maybe it's sitting down and asking yourself some hard questions in front of a mirror of, okay, what is it that I really want to do right now? I don't know, what do you see, babe? I'm gonna pull a card around what maybe an action to take. But
Should I work towards opening my own insurance agency or stay in hospitality? I don't think you're going to. I feel like you like security, you like stability. I'm not saying you can't do it. I just don't feel like you have. When you're tired and you're mentally done, it takes a lot more energy to start something from scratch and put in the effort it takes to start a new business. And even then, it's going to be an uphill, like, thrust and effort for a while. It's not going to be this like, oh, I'm just going to like, hey, everybody, I got my own insurance. Come. That's right. I can cover your burn, your sunburn. That's right. You get sunburn. I can cover your skin. It's not going to be that simple. I think it's going to take more energy and effort than you have right now. I think if maybe you tried this in another couple of years, I think the market would be better for you to start and have an easier time of getting going. I also think insurance companies are going through some changes over the next couple of years as well, where we're going to start to hear about these weird bundle services where, like right now, if you get yeah, I got insurance with my car, but I can also get homeowners insurance. You're going to start hearing about these bundled services where these insurance companies are going to try to also go into the health and wellness industry to offer coverage for people with medical insurance as well as your car. Oh, I got my car and my, everybody's under Geico, everybody's under Allstate, and it's all the same. And so you're going to hear a lot more about that in these insurance companies forming partnerships. So it might be better for you to start that in 2 years, because by default, there are still going to be types of insurances that are going to be cheaper as an individual service, unless they're partnered up with these bigger companies. Then they may actually, cost more money, which is, I would think, would be a dumb thing. But suffice it to say, I don't feel like you're wanting to start something from scratch. I think you want safety. I think you want comfort. I think you want stability. And even though you may not be 100% happy with your work in hospitality, I don't think it's that bad. And I actually think that you could do well over, because I feel like 7 or 8 months from now, something's changing with the company that you're with. Um, and it almost feels like you might have more perks and more things um, coming. The pay package feels better, and I actually see you making more money at that time. So you might be seeing a raise or an increase around that time. So I'm not thinking you're going to leave. I'm thinking you're going to stay put.
So around an action, I got the Wheel of Fortune, which is a big card, and kind of hearing how Fernie's talking, the Wheel of Fortune is about the wheel of fate turns, and we are sometimes small little cogs in great big things that are beyond our control. And so in hearing and even thinking like, yeah, hospitality, I can imagine that the market, or not the market, the economy right now, people are traveling less, doing less, spending, like there is economic uncertainty right now, which is a very large thing that we cannot control.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering if you're feeling that hospitality is, I mean, A, if you're not feeling passionate about it, again, I say return to the idea of love yourself first. What is it that you're interested in? But the Wheel of Fortune is there are a lot of big things swirling right now, and we are just tiny little ants in a whirlpool. Now, that doesn't mean because in some ways that feels like really it's easy to feel really powerless when things like this come up, or when we appreciate that we cannot control the bigger things. There's also, it's a little freeing to also just give yourself permission and be like, you know what, I can't control what the market's doing, I can only control what I'm doing. And that's the hidden lesson in this one, that's all about fate and destiny, and the wheel of the universe just keeps grinding us down, and we don't know how it's going to turn out, but we do have a choice in how we handle it, and um, how we can act, what choices we make. And so I'm just saying that like these two together, there are big thing. Oh, sorry, wrong hand. Big things going on out there, and I can't get my hand straight because it's clear, and I'm never gonna get it straight. I'm never gonna get it straight. So I hope everyone out there is getting a good laugh every time I take a card off screen because I can't figure out what side of my body to put it on. But there are great big things going on out there, and maybe the time, and maybe kind of what friends like, maybe time is now is not the time to try something new, because there are a lot of big things swirling, a lot of things beyond our control. And so also, if you look at this little beautiful little cup, if I can get it in the shot, maybe this is also encouraging you to take care of yourself in this moment. How can you protect your mountain scene in your own little hand? Like, so what can you do in your little world right now when everything else feels big and weird and spiraling, and we never know? And the other part of the Wheel of Fortune is that everything goes in cycles. Universe, life, our own individual lives, we move in cycles, and if you're down, you're going to be up later on. If you're up right now, you'll be down later on, and it will come around. So if things are feeling not great right now, I would just say like self-love, be nice to yourself, love yourself first, choose what feels right to you, and know that things are going to keep, the wheel always spins. So sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and just trust that the cycles continue. I don't know if that is helpful. I hope that resonates. And yeah, big career changes are hard, and they're worth taking a little bit of time to figure out what is next. And what do you want to be next?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you really want to open your own insurance agency, then don't let either one of us tell you not to, because that is also Wheel of Fortune, self love. Like, it's on you. So, I hope good luck with what may be coming in the future.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, Dean. Well, first, I mean, if I was single, first off, I'd say stop being so greedy. Um,
uh,
but all right. So dating two guys, I wanted to know which one I should focus on more. All right. Well, let's see what pops up. This would be this would be more fun for me, and this would be more effective for me if we were doing an actual one-on-one session, so that I could see how you land on each guy. But with just a blind read, well, I don't know. So that's the 10 of Cups, which is kind of like all is right in the world. So if I had to, based on knowing nothing about your situation right now and the two guys, I would say keep doing what you're doing because it seems like it's working out well. But beyond that, I would have us look at the card and see, like which one. So the interesting thing, here's part of my process, is working with the image that we're given. So we don't see the faces here. So we don't know who that is. So I'm going to throw the question back at you, Dean, and ask, whose face do you see holding you around the waist? And if nothing else, it's that impulse of who it is to choose. If you closed your eyes right now, I bet you, if you close your eyes right now, and you imagine this, like you're standing with someone you love, and not ironically, but Fernie and I have done this exact thing. Like we go chasing rainbows together. And I don't think I ever knew it was going to be him until I met him. And so, babe, earmuffs. I may get a little gooey here. So, Dean, my advice to you right now is close your eyes and imagine yourself in this scene. And who's grasping you around the waist? And I would say move in that direction. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. I don't trust in, yeah, what is it? Who is it that you want? Who excites you more? Who do you feel? Yeah, who do you? It's hard sometimes when we make a choice around that. Oh, I don't know. Well, then ironic, and then strangely enough, so I pulled the sort of action card, and it's the Five of Cups, which is the exact half of the Ten of Cups. And that Five of Cups, wrong one. The Five of Cups is about grief. So either way you choose, there's going to be some grief to deal with. But also look at this. So here we have this sad looking figure, and they're standing on this river, and they're focused on the spilled cups in front of them and missing the empty cups behind them. And then also, we don't know where they're looking. Sorry, the lighting is not great here. Maybe they're looking off to the village on the other side of the river. There's always going to be regret about the paths we didn't take. There's always going to be grief around that choice. But you got to make the choice. If you want, if you want the happy, this is literally the like Hollywood Technicolor happy ending moment. If you want to move towards that happy ending, you gotta make the choice. But you also don't have to do it right now. You can have some fun. Hey, what do you say?
Oh, Dean. Dean. So when you were telling him about just choose one, I was like, I honestly don't think you need to choose because I feel like this is going to come to a completion on its own. I don't feel confident about either of these options. I actually think either one of them may not be fully available. We're still dealing with their ex, so they may not be fully available for something beyond what you two are exchanging in. So I would just say enjoy it for what it is. The other one feels like they might end up shutting down on you when you try to take it further, which is odd because it's like when you're getting to know someone and they're like, yeah, I want a relationship, or one day I want to, and they're very much seeming to be intentional with what they're wanting, and then the minute you put effort behind it and you start to take it more seriously, they start to pull away or they start to back away. And I feel like that may be what happens with the other one. So I feel like one's still stuck on the ex or on someone they were with, and that's still kind of happening. If they're not actually broken up, then that's a whole different dynamic altogether. I just don't feel like they have room. There's going to be room there for anybody else in the meantime. So I would just enjoy that one. And the other one, like I said, it just feels like they're not really ready or as serious as they may say they are. So I would say neither of these feel like options for something long term or serious. Enjoy yourself, have fun. Um, I just don't feel great about either of these two. And when he was showing that card, look at that
That may be the
card.
grief that's coming.
Well, not only that, but look, his back is turned to the two cups, and so the two cups his back is turned to them. So I mean, I'm thinking even though they may still produce, viable sustenance, they just don't feel like you're going to feel that level of engagement from them in the way that you would want. So, and just enjoy it for the time being. There's something better coming up in December.
Mm.
Let's see, TikTok.
TikTok will make you jump. Wait. Will I find love again? Oh my God, Mallory. Seriously, Mal. Those dating apps. First off, before I even pull a card, I'm gonna give you advice you didn't ask for. As much as you can, and I know what it is. It's hard to meet people out in this world. As much as you can, try to meet people in the real world. If you can, because dating apps become, at least for me, it becomes like a video game. You just play night after night. And because it's like shopping for a mate, it's always like there's always an idea of like there's always one more, or like someone else is around the corner. Before I pull a single card and before I start telling you singing my song, I would just say like, what are strategies? What can you do in the real world to go out and meet people? Like, do you have interest in volunteering? Do you have interest in sports? Do you have interest in like join a team, join a league, join a book club, do something social where you will meet people in the real world? And maybe they aren't going to be people who are available to you, but the more we broaden our networks, then someone's going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you should meet my friend. Dating apps are awful and I hate them. I spent years on them and look what I got finally. I got lucky. I got real lucky. All right, Mel. All right. Okay, so 6 of coins, and actually, this one just came up. Ferdinand and I were talking about this one. It came up in one of my own readings recently. All right, so the 6 of coins generally. First off, it's not a love card. It is Earth, and it's about material realm, and it's about body, and it's about whatever. And so the 6 is often about that cycle of giving and receiving. If you keep giving generously, you will receive graciously. Like if we keep the energy flowing, you keep that cycle going. But in this case, I don't think that's a great sign because it's the thing of like, it's that thing of keep putting ourselves out there and it just feels like we're turning our wheels. We're going in circles. And here we have 2 empty nests as well. I wish I could give you good news. And so I'm going to go back to my deck and see if we can pull a card that would like have some action going on with it while Fernie talks. But girl, I'm with you. It is a rough world out there. And I am sorry if for no other reason. Dating apps suck.
They can suck. I would rather be the one sucking than the apps themselves. So I would rather it be on my terms and going the way that I prefer it to go. When I was on the dating apps,
Wow, am I so surprised to hear this?
I always recommend treating the apps like Google reviews as far as like restaurants are concerned. Like you look at reviews, you're like, okay, the vibe's good, or like, okay, you can watch the reviews. Okay, they got 5 stars. But then when I actually open it up and I look at the environment, the vibe, I always do reconnaissance when I go somewhere new because I like to know what I'm walking into. I will get a vibe for it. And then, so once I'm like taking a look at what they have to offer, taking a look at the menu, kind of looking at what people had to say about it, then I will go there and try it out. And my experience might be different from somebody else's experience, but I go in expecting that I'm going to get something out of it that at least I can enjoy, even if it's just for a moment. And if I don't enjoy the food that much, or it's not the best, I won't go back, right? Treat the apps the same way. You should be the one engaging. And I'm going to say this across the board. It does not matter what your background is, how you were raised, what you believe. Well, the guy should be asking me out, or he should be making me. No, like get off yourself. Get over it. Um, you should be treating every engagement and opportunity to connect with people like an opportunity to connect with people, because we live in a completely different world, and the generational like trends and norms that you're used to or that you would prefer may not work the same way. And we live in a world where a lot of people have social anxiety, do not know how to ask other people for anything, even if they're going to a grocery store. So how are they going to ask you to go out? How are they going to engage with you in any meaningful way? And a lot of people suffer from a lack of skills with socializing. So what I would say is, try my approach. If you like someone and you like their profile, like them, or send them a message. That's it. Don't wait all day for that person to respond. That's just one number in the endless pool and stream of fishes ready to be plucked and eaten. So go to the next person and the next person and the next person and the next person, because on a daily basis, I would like or start conversations with an average of 10 to 20 guys. And some of them would react and respond. Some of them wouldn't. That's okay. I don't really give a damn if they don't respond or if they don't like me back. I got plenty of other people to talk to. And I would keep that conversation going with various guys at the same time, just because sometimes people will start a conversation. They don't really take it further than a few lines. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Pretty good. Cool. That's not a conversation. What I would do is I would start it off with like, hey, how are you doing today? And then I would mention something personal about my day that would give them an opportunity to get a feel for who I am or what I'm about. And by just doing that, it would open up the opportunity for them to also want to share. And it would also show vulnerability. And you do want to approach every opportunity that you have to connect with people with the ability to be vulnerable so that they can share and feel safe with you, because you're not going to form a real connection with anyone unless they feel safe with you. So create a safe environment, be direct, get to the point, don't fiddle fart around, start the conversation yourself, be transparent about what you actually want and not what sounds like what you want or what you think you want. Be real with what you want. And there's someone out there for you. But you need to engage people and connect with people, or you're just going to be sitting on your ass like the majority of the population, waiting for the perfect person to knock at their door. Hey, I'm just doing a survey, and oh my God, where have you been all my life? You're beautiful. I want to date you. It's not going to happen, girl. It's not going to happen. It's probably happened like once every 20,000 people. It's not going to happen. So you got to just get off your butt and just really put yourself out there, and don't take it too seriously. Have fun, enjoy yourself. Get dinner out of it at least, but that's what I would say. With that being said, you will find love again. I actually think you'll meet someone in January that someone's going to introduce you to. I don't think you're going to like that person because you're going to clock them or try to be real critical of them. They may also have a child from a prior relationship, which is why I think you're going to be like, nope, not for me. But it's something to consider. If you don't try that option, there's another one that comes up in December or November of 2027. That might be a viable option as well. But that's the future that I'm seeing if you just don't listen to what I'm saying and you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So that's what I would say.
Okay, your follow-up, your action, ignore everything he just said. No, I'm just kidding. 10 of Wands. So again, not a great card for you as far as, but this is about burnout. And so the lesson in taking on too much. And now that we're thinking about it and talking about it, the 6 of Coins, that's an earth suit. So that is all about your labor. So your dating process right now has felt, if I get the right card, has felt like laborious. It feels like a job. It feels like a thing to do. So then we move into your fire energy. And the 10 of Wands is around burnout. You're taking on too much. You've lost track of what it is that inspires you, that makes you feel, that lights you up. And so the lesson in this one is, what can you do to reconnect to that passion within you? And so in this case, yeah, dating apps, it just feels like a thing that we do because we don't want two empty nests. We want full birds, full nests. And sometimes it feels overwhelming and it feels like burnout. So reconnect, piling onto what he said, reconnect to what it is that you actually want out of this. Sometimes we just want dating, sometimes we just want companionship. Sometimes we don't want to be alone out in the world. Sometimes it's just nice to have someone who checks in on us. Um, and we will accept these different things, but like, reconnect to your passion, reconnect to your fire. And in this case, because you're asking around love again, that is like passion and intensity. And maybe you just haven't felt it in a while because there's just so much going on energetically. And so, what can you do to move yourself through that, to get past the sort of endless cycle of work and really feel inspired for, are you out there looking because you're like, oh, I just want somebody to go on vacations with. Oh, I've got a wedding coming up next spring that I want to date for. Or is it really like, no, I really want to put myself out there. I really want love. I want that kind of connection again in my life. And that's what I want to connect to. And in so doing, if you can reconnect to that, if it hasn't felt present in your life right now, then that will make weeding through the vast numbers of folks out there that just feel like, we all meet so often. It's rare that when we meet the thing that like lights us up, and you'll reconnect to it and you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
You were laughing, babe. You laughing at the text, or you were laughing at what I was saying?
No, I'm entertained by people's comments and messages.
Oh.
Oh, let's see. I like it when you're on here with me, because sometimes when I'm looking through and finding questions, I get quiet and there's like a gap of space, and I'm just like, and you feel that space. You feel the space, you feel the void in my life quite well, so that I can multitask and like blah, 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 blah. So I enjoy it.
That's funny. I would have thought you'd say you like having me on here because you enjoy my company, but that's okay.
No,
I'm
no.
glad
Why
I
would
can
I say such a thing? Why would I say such a thing? Why would I say that?
You see how this goes, folks out there in social
Oh,
media land.
let's see. All right, I've got
And
it.
by the way, I did basically come knocking on his damn door, so his love, his spread the seeds everywhere advice is a little bit.
I mean, here you are. Obviously, I was doing something.
Sure,
Uh
sure,
huh.
sure, sure, sure,
Mm-hmm.
sure, 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 sure.
Let's
Well,
see.
I guess maybe the 9 other gays you messaged that day didn't get back to you quick enough.
Well, it was still early in the morning,
Yeah.
so people were at work.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
usually
answer
around
another
lunchtime.
question.
Around lunch is when you start like, "Hey, what you doing this evening?" Or "Hey, I want a burger."
Yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Well, Caitlin, first off, I'm sorry that you're feeling anxiety. It's kind of hard to feel like anything else when that is so present. Let's see. Hmm.
What's her energy?
Well,
So I wonder what's her energy.
I got the Magician again, different deck. Um, and so if you are feeling anxious, again, I want this one to feel, and maybe you're not feeling empowered in life right now, particularly talking around having symptoms. I don't know what they are. Having anxiety, don't know what that's about. Not that anxiety needs to be about anything, but I want this to feel empowering in that it may not feel like it in the moment. And I have a very close person in my life who also deals with really strong, actually, I have several who deal with really strong anxiety. And as someone who cares about them, it's hard to see them in their dark and anxious places because everything seems connected to it. Like, can't sleep because anxiety, can't eat because it's anxiety, can't function, don't want to do anything, and it becomes this sort of ever-present blanket over your life. And it's hard in those moments, as someone seeing someone they care about going through a rough time, to remind them that it, as like the Magician, like I want to remind you that you have all of the things within you to get past this. That's not to say that the trouble you're having isn't serious, that it isn't affecting you, but you are stronger, you are more resilient, you will get through this. You have more capabilities than you might be giving yourself credit for in this moment. Um, because you have all of the skills, you have all of the things, you have the willpower. and you can't, I'm not saying that you can like willpower, you can't manifest anxiety or symptoms away, but I'm saying that I want this to hopefully be a reminder of how strong you are, how capable you are, and that you can get through it. You can create magic, if not in this moment, then later on. I don't know, babe, what are you thinking?
Um, I think there's a combination of things. I do feel that there's real anxiety that you're experiencing, but I feel like something else is happening with the nervous system, and I feel it almost feels like your immune system might be like attacking and by the way, I'm not a doctor, y'all. These are not medical opinions. These are personal opinions based on what I'm sensing. You need to go to a doctor and get assessed by a doctor. People like to come to psychics and ask us, what to do. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't get a medical degree. That's a lot of training and specialized training at that. With that being said, I do think that what I keep seeing is I keep seeing a few things. One is I keep thinking that your immune system seems to be reacting or responding to your nervous system in a way that kind of feels like it's attacking it, similar to the way that your body or your immune system would react to like if someone has an allergy. Like if you're going through seasonal allergies, your body like will react to that because of the immune system, and then it triggers symptoms. I feel like what your system is doing is it's engaging with your nervous system in a way that feels like it's attacking it. But I don't feel like it's attacking it for the hell of it. I feel like it's attacking it because I feel like something has started to affect the nervous system that almost feels like viral or bacterial in a way. What I mean by that is there are certain conditions out there that affect the nervous system or the neurological system in a way that might trigger it to behave or to react in a certain way, and you're picking up on it from your end, like something's wrong or whatnot. I'm reminded of like different types of conditions. You think of something like, for example, syphilis, which is an STI or STD. I'm not saying that's what you've got. I'm saying that's something that over time it starts to impact the nervous system and it causes a lot of issues there. So I'm reminded of that kind of issue. Same thing with like when people had COVID. In the early strains of COVID, it was a lot more, they were a lot more aggressive strains. And I mean, even to this day, people are still being affected by COVID to some extent because of their genetic makeup and their body's systems. But I have a friend he used to work out. He was going to law school. He was doing really well. And then he got COVID in the early stages of COVID when it was first coming out, and his body just shut down. He couldn't walk. He still can't walk without a walker. He whenever he's having an experience, like let's say the sunlight is hitting his skin, it reacts in a way to where he feels like it's burning, but it's not actually like the same experience as we have when it's hot. It's like it actually feels like you're being burned. So it has a very different experience because the system has become so sensitive. So I feel like your system, something's going on that may be triggering it to respond to itself in a way that feels similar to like people who have these types of conditions. I also think you need to check your thyroid because I feel like your hormones are off with your thyroid function and that might be adding to it. And so some of the anxiety you're experiencing may also be triggered by a thyroid condition. So I think that you may need to ask about those two areas to see if anything can be checked to give you some sort of answer about what's going on. I do see you getting some sort of an injection in December, but it's because I feel like you end up going to two different doctors before you get to the second one that is the one that gives you the injection. You know,
But good luck, dear. That's sorry. We're sorry that you're dealing with so much,
mm,
and hope you feel better. And like Fernie says, see a doctor.
mm. Alexa, does my dad have any messages? Does my dad have any messages regarding his passing? I told him I was proud to be his daughter while he was intubated, and I want to know if he heard me.
I don't know. I got two, and I got jumpers, and I don't like them. They don't make sense to me. And so this is one is the Seven of Cups around. I can tell that there's a lot of emotional energy in this for you. And this is around like fantasies and daydreams. Um, and so I wonder, and if nothing else, I just feel like this has been on your mind and different scenarios have been on your mind around this. And, there's a lot of there's a lot of water energy, there's a lot of emotional energy in this one. And then the jumper was the Eight of Swords, which is, um, again, I said I don't like these cards for this question, but this is around feeling trapped. This is around being blind to, generally, around being blind to how trapped you are. And so as I'm just talking through this and hearing this and seeing these two together and feeling, winter, oh no, wrong one, winter and like very dark, I just feel like you are trapped is not the right word that I want to use because it implies, but I can tell that there's a lot of focus and attention and a lot of emotional energy and thought around this question. So it just tells me that this has been on your mind a lot and that I can't give you an answer. Furno might be able to better, but I just want to say that these two generally not nice cards come up. It just makes me wonder around your human experience on this earth if you're just feeling this question a lot. If I wonder if if getting an answer to this is feeling both like a fantasy and also something that's trapping you and making you feel perhaps out in the cold, perhaps away from others. Like it's something that might be keeping you from moving on with the flow of your own life. That idea. I have, and I'm always happy to share this. My mom died suddenly, and both my parents died. My dad died very suddenly when I was 4, but my mom died suddenly. It'll be 15 years ago. But I have a lot of questions around that. I have a lot of unanswered questions. I have a lot of feelings. I wasn't with her when she went. It was very quick, and so it's haunted me. It's I've dreamt about it. I have felt trapped, or wrong one. I have felt trapped by it, by the grief of this person, this presence that's no longer with us and no longer able to communicate, and the question of, even like I came out of the closet after she died, and so that question of like that I was never able to express that to her while she was on this earth. These things they become fantasies, daydreams, and traps and mental traps, and so at first I didn't like these cards coming up because I didn't know what to make of them, but I wonder if needing an answer to this is keeping you in place in this moment in time, in not even in this moment of time, in that moment of time, in a way that, I hope Fernie can give you a better answer. I guess I'm just saying, like, I see you and I wonder if your own human on this earth journey is really, again, I don't want to say fixated, I don't want to say trapped, but if your focus is really on this question and getting answers to this, because that's hard. It's hard to live with. It's hard to live with those thoughts and those questions. I
People are
know,
going to
babe.
have a people are going to have a follow-up question. Why hasn't Fernie read for you, or why hasn't Fernie brought your mom through? And they would probably be asking that question, since you mentioned that you have all these questions and you used to have a lot of things unresolved.
Because he doesn't really love me, apparently. He dates. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And I also don't want to. I don't want to make light of in this moment. Um, he did bring my mom forward once when we barely knew each other.
It was our
The
first
answer,
time. It was our first time in
it was in
Vegas.
our first week of, like we'd spent a good chunk of that week together, and it was my last morning with him. And he says that my mom visits him a lot. He sees her in ways. It's hard for him because he's so connected and invested in me, and so he can't connect in the way that he can't read for his family. He can't really read for his close friends. He's um so if anyone is out there, if anyone's out there asking that question, that would be why. So anyway, Fernie, let's get back to
Yeah.
Alexa's question,
Yeah.
because I've seen her put that in the chat quite a lot tonight. And
Yeah. Yeah, Alexa. So part of it, yes, the answer to your question is yes. I think your dad is definitely aware that you not only are proud to be his daughter, but I also think he wants to acknowledge the amount of effort you made within the family, because sometimes when there are different siblings or different members of the family, we've got mom and, partner or spouse, and then like, siblings, etc. We've got a lot of people that are connected to the person that passed away. And sometimes we want to feel like they acknowledge or they understand our efforts, not just in wanting to honor them and wanting to acknowledge the memory of who they were, but also we do want to know that we were special to them. And I think you definitely were special to your father. I also think that even though I think your dad expressed himself, I think that the way he makes me feel is that he wishes he would have communicated even more so some of that proudship in you, some of that pride, some of that love that he had. And sometimes, depending on the way a person was raised or what they're comfortable doing and expressing, it's not always the easiest thing to do so. But he's very, very clear that he absolutely loves you and adores you and appreciates everything that not only you did when he was intubated, but also after the fact and what you're still doing now, trying to do so much for the family. Ladybugs are going to be a sign to look out for because he's showing me ladybugs. Earlier, when I saw your question, I saw it earlier and he gave me an image and I was like, what the hell do I do with that? Right? Or what the heaven do I do with that? It was the image of chilaquiles. Like, do you remember like the tortillas that are like smothered in sauce? And I was like, what am I seeing? And then I was also thinking of like the birria tacos that are like, again, they're like fried with that sauce. And so I was like, why am I seeing these tortillas with like birria with the sauce or with like the coloring of the fried tortilla? And I was like, what is that? So I don't know if y'all just had that and we're talking about dad, or if that was something that he really liked, but there was something there that he showed me and I was like, I have no idea what that means. So he's making reference to that. He also he's showing me two things. One is a pillow. So I don't know if y'all turned something into a pillow for him or if y'all took his pillow and did something special with that. He's also showing me a shirt that's like almost like whenever people have the same shirt or they get the same shirt. So I'm seeing something like that as well. So I'm wondering if there's two shirts that look identical that are special for dad, or if y'all actually made two shirts in honor of him. But there's something there that he's also making reference to. All right, let's see. She says, yes, all the time. Food was our love language. I love him too. You told me about ladybugs in our readings. See? Yeah. Glad I'm consistent. Glad I'm consistent. Yeah. Let's see, what is it? Gotta figure out how to, let's see. Okay. Going over here.
Again, and also like, and for you, Alexa, and for anyone else out there, it's sorry about the loss. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's never not hard. It gets easier, but it's never not hard.
All right.
A quail shirt. I love
Quail
that.
shirt. Yeah. I was like, it kept like highlighting the shirt. I was like, okay. Okay. Going over here. Let's do Bree. Oh shoot.
Can you make that one bigger, baby?
I am.
There we go.
I was trying to like not move your thing, and I ended up moving. There it is. There we go.
Grad program. Okay, Bree, that is first off, before I pull a single card, that is a tense place to be in. Tense and exciting, but I also remember the fear and anxiety of waiting to hear if I got into the grad programs that I was an actor that I auditioned for. And then also I can imagine maybe this was more for me and my experience than yours, but the thought of like, oh God, what if I don't get in anywhere? Now what do I do with the rest of my life? So I tend to catastrophize things, but that was a real big fear. So, all right, grad program. Okay, this feels good. Ignore the title. Okay, ignore the title. So, judgment. So, first off, big card. Big card. It is the invitation. Look at that angel. Look at that angel blowing his horn to bring all of these saints and sinners up to a different realm. It's an invitation for transcendence. It's an invitation for the next step, for a new realm, a new journey. You're almost there. It's not quite there yet. Judgment is card 20 in the major arcana, which is one before the world, which is card 21, and 21 is the end of that cycle. So you're real close to starting something new, and you're being invited to move into your next level. The idea of judgment there, very much that biblical sense of judgment day. Good is rewarded, bad is punished. So we get to live the future that we have of based on the past that we have lived. So this feels like it's a good invitation for you to move on to ascend into your next realm. But I'm going to pick an action card while Fernie does his rambling.
I wonder if she's going into or trying to get into like advocacy work, criminal justice, or law based studies. Um, if she's not, it's interesting because I am seeing her going into like work that has to do with helping people or humanitarian support, but from a perspective where you understand, like when you think of human resources, when you think of advocacy work, when you think of that's the vibe around her. And so I keep seeing that doctor of public health. So she's going, that's the,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Here's what's interesting about that, Bree. Even though you're going doctor of public health, what would enlighten me? What is that again?
I don't know. I feel like that's someone around. I mean, like all of this COVID era stuff, like public health is who deals with COVID, with the diseases, with
Yeah.
measles, and so I
Yeah.
suspect.
Yeah. I think she's going
I
to get
suspect
involved with the legal part of that or policy making or that kind of stuff. So when it comes to having to basically establish protocols and having to deal with policy, having to deal with that's all. But from the legal side of things, which is interesting, because I keep thinking that there's this advocacy, human resources was the other one, and that kept getting that vibe around her. But DRPH, Doctor of Public Health is pretty broad, but I love advocacy work, license, social work. That was it. That's the social work. So the social work. So that's what I'm thinking of because I was trying to remember social work and I couldn't come up with it. I keep seeing you doing a lot of work using your doctorate and your public health, your public word or license. What is it? Social work and the public health stuff. I see you working those two things together, bringing them together, and working with a lot of situations that have to do with how cities and different jurisdictions are dealing with homeless people who are dealing with crisis on the street, especially because we have a growing homeless population and there are a lot of issues that are coming up because when people don't have the ability to take care of themselves, other issues come up in the process. And so I think that you're going to be working a lot more with the homeless population, but you're going to be doing it through an organization that is being funded or having the financial resources to be able to help. And so that's what I keep seeing. Thank you for mentioning that because I was like, I keep seeing this like helping people, advocacy, social work. That social work part is what I was trying to remember. I was like, what is that? A social? Like, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So yes, you'll get into your program.
Okay. So my follow-up was, you're asking this question, so I want to deal with you and your human moment here, and it's anxiety. It's a tenuous situation. And so this is the Two of Cups. So the action here is I'm wondering, do you have a partner or someone you love that you can trust to like help sit with you around this anxiety, around this weight, around what's going to happen in your future, to sort of encourage you to just sort of trust in someone, pour your water into each other's cups, whether that is a romantic partner, whether that's just like a really close friend or like a, family member, but to seek support in someone else if you're feeling this anxiety and this weight. And then I also just want to point out, again, this is how I like to read the cards. So we see, if I could get the camera, God damn it, if I could get the camera. So look at the top of those cards. So we see these figures with their red wings. So that's when I like to see how the cards play off of each other. So we see here on top, it's a lion, but on below it's an angel. So, but they have the same sort of, those images are being used. And so this feels to me, I take this to mean that these cards are lining themselves up and aligning. So, wrong one. A new path is being shown to you. You are being made to move to your next level and trust in someone else to help support you with that. Tarot. Boom. But good luck, because that is a crazy place to feel like. You're like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? How am I supposed to plan out what comes next? When you're waiting for someone else to make a decision.
Yeah, I think the core energy behind all of that is a love for people and wanting to make a difference or wanting to have impact. And sometimes there's no money in that, and it's hard to make a living out of doing that. And I know that some of this is like, what if I get this doctorate? It should help me to kind of take my career to the next level, because social work isn't really a high paying, which unfortunately is sad that the highest paying jobs in this country are, rigging elections and trying to get in with the wealthy people. Like, I mean, those are the highest paying jobs. Whereas the jobs that actually have value and worth, like teachers or people who are in the medical industry, God, save nurses, because doctors can be assholes. So, people don't get paid enough for the stuff that actually has an impact and makes a difference. Not to say that there isn't a need for engineers and for people who are scientists and who deal with facts, but it's the world we live in, right, guys? Um,
Well, speaking of grad school, babe, I did see in the comments that when we were talking to Alexa, one of my favorites from grad school has joined us tonight, that she popped her head in to say hello.
who?
She stayed with us before.
You mean Jesse?
Yeah. Not trying to throw her all out under the business, but she's still
Why?
here.
Why? She should get attention. Jesse's wonderful. I love Jesse.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Next question.
I just realized I'm looking like a floating head right now because I don't know why I always wear a black t-shirt and then my apartment is dark. So
Mhm.
good thing I'm nice and white and catching all of the light.
Suzanne here says, "Hi guys, please. I really need to know if I think she's saying if you see me having surgery. So, if we're seeing her having to go forward with a procedure, a medical procedure."
I mean, I'll always say like I can't and won't comment on health issues because I just don't. That's just not. Um, but that one is again a reminder of see a doctor. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers. We're not mental health practitioners. This is for entertainment. Please take what we say with a grain of salt. I got the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is a like the meditation card. It's a rest card. It is, if nothing else, I would say I can't tell you if you're gonna have surgery or not. But I will say the swords, again, swords being the mental realm and thoughts. It's just asking you, this card is about putting down your swords, putting down your thoughts, and just giving yourself a break. So I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is if there's an opportunity for you, oh wait, yeah, I don't know. If there's a way to put down your anxiety, I don't know. I'm sorry, that's not much help, but I can't really. That's not how I can see things. I don't know, babe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're going to have the procedure. I keep thinking that you're going to try to put it off. I actually think you'll end up agreeing to it, and then you'll hold off because you're going to the anxiety and the worry of it. I think the mental realm for you is the part of you that is being consumed, because I actually think that the procedure itself can help you and alleviate a lot of your own pain. That doesn't mean you're going to be painless when you're done, because you've got other health issues, but I do think it can make a difference and benefit you. And I do think that the doctors know what they're doing. However, I do think that more of your mental and emotional anxiety is what's getting triggered. So I wouldn't be surprised if you agree to do it and then you stop and you decide, no, I'm not going to, but then you actually do have to do it, because I don't feel like you're going to be able to escape the need of the procedure at some point.
Um, I'm wondering, babe, with because legal is in there too,
Mm-hmm.
and legal surgery. Like, I'm wondering if this is perhaps a birth. Um, this is a women's health question,
Mm-mm.
and particularly in our country right now, in different
Yeah.
states have different laws, and
No,
um,
no, I'm familiar with Suzanne. I don't think that's what she's meaning, legal. I think she
okay.
just typed so fast that it corrected itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Um, who's that? Who's that? Let's see. Let's try. Um,
All right. Well, while he's doing this, it's time for another plug. Buy his book. Wait, I gotta get. Gosh, you'd think I would get this right all the time. Buy his book. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can get it from his website. Also, visit his website, which is hard to see because his shirt is so bright and colorful. As well as visit my website. If you wanted to schedule one-on-one sessions with me with tarot, it's a little bit different than this. This is, I think we can all agree, we're having fun. I'm just kind of taking stabs in the dark. A session with me would be very much face to face, and we would be talking about a lot of these things. And I would help try to, rather than predict your future, I would try to help you choose how to get to the future that you want. Short sessions, long sessions. You can also go to my website. Oh, I got it right this time. Sign up for my newsletter. Follow me on socials. I really want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Those who've been here, those who stay with us, particularly those of you I see. I've kind of got the chat going off to one side, and I see I'm not in control of the chat because Bernie's a control freak. But I can see some of the questions coming in again. I can sense the import to getting some answers, getting some talk around it. And so obviously I will apologize for both of us. I can't get to everyone's questions. And to thank everyone who has been with us so far and stayed with us. Okay, you got a question, babe?
yeah. And also,
Do you
guys,
want,
do me the
do you want
favor.
to plug anything?
Yeah. Well, also, so, well, there's several things I want to say first. One,
Sure.
this boy knows how to help people in ways that I don't think he is properly conveying. I think he knows. There are several things I love about this man. One is he's a great listener. Two, he's done the work on himself, tremendous amount of work on himself. Three, he knows the struggle and he has one of the greatest like hearts and ability to have empathy for others that I've ever seen in another human being, which is why I've snatched him up. So I don't necessarily think that y'all should limit his skill set to the use of tarot. And this is what I've said to him as well. It really is about working through issues, processing things, and trying to figure things out for yourself. And I think, if anything, I think that he's been one of the greatest assets that I have gained in my portfolio in the last year. And not even affected by the market. You're not even affected by the market trends. You're just a constant. You're just a constant gold. So, yeah. So that's what I think. So his website's there. Also, if you just need someone to talk to who can help you work through some stuff. And it's not just the tarot work. It's also the personal work, the emotional work. God, has he helped me with my emotional self in so many ways. So with that being said, if y'all can do me the favor of liking, show some hearts, and also if you can share this video feed out with folks, that would be greatly appreciated, just because that will help us to grow our audience and our numbers and bring people back to our pages so we can start to connect with more people. So if y'all can do me the favor and share, that would be greatly appreciated. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, don't forget to follow us also. I mean, you want to know when we're on, because I am trying to get my ass back on here on a regular basis. It's just been a process, and I'm also now in the process of a move. So there's a whole lot that goes along with that. But
Wait,
yeah,
where are you moving?
someplace out west, there's some guy who supposedly
Yeah.
he like is all about me. And you know,
Hmm.
I love
That
being
seems like
all,
good
I
news.
like to be all I like it when it's all about me. So
That I know. That I know.
all right, let's see. Let's go here. We have, here we go. Rena.
Ooh. All right, Rena. Okay, so this one, seven of coins. So seven of coins. If I promise, if you ever do a session with me, the Zoom mirrors it. Oh, we do it over Zoom, by the way, and the Zoom mirrors me, so it's definitely not this ridiculous. But the seven of coins, anyway, back to Rena. Seven of coins is about, as you can see, it's harvesting. So it is planting the seeds and giving them the time to grow into gold, to grow into coins, to grow into something that has taken time. And the seven is about, so in tarot, it's a lot about cycles, and so one of the cycles is ace through 10 in each of these suits, and so we're at the seven in this ace through 10 suit. So the seven is an opportunity to stop. Your garden is blooming, and so the farmer asks, am I doing this the best way? Am I doing this in a way that will bring me the greatest benefits? And so it's some time to stop and appreciate what you have done so far. And this is coins, so this is also around labor and how you spend your time and how you make your energy tangible in the world outside of you. It's about tangible energy. And so, I hate when someone asks me a question and I throw it back to them, but this is your time. You're being shown to reflect on, okay, you have achieved, you have planted your garden has grown. So you're
Mhm.
studying psychology with criminology. So you have gotten this far in your study path. And I remember these days. It was a long time ago, but I remember these days and the feeling of, am I choosing the right thing? This is my major? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to be for the rest of my life. It's perfectly okay to stop, appreciate what you've grown so far, and to just be like, okay, next season, what can I do to plant that I what can I do in how I plant my garden, how I reap my fields, that I will get more out of it. So reevaluate your efforts, reevaluate what it is, reevaluate the seeds that you plant. It's completely okay if you are not interested in criminology anymore and you want to try something new. I also tell you, as someone further down, with many more trips around the sun than you, it doesn't ultimately matter. Our lives, our paths will go in many different directions in life. And so if I could go back and just tell myself something from 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, when I was in college, and I guess I'm assuming that maybe you are college age, you could also just be, older adult going back to school, still same advice. Do what you're doing now, do it to the fullest. And if it changes later on, then that's fine. Try something new. So now's the time to reevaluate your garden. Are you getting the fruits out of it that you want? It's totally fine if you're like, let's say these weren't coins, but let's say you planted a field of lemons. And you're like, I loved lemons when I was a kid. I wanted lemon cake all the time, and I wanted to make lemons with iced tea and lemonade. I wanted to sell it. And then you get to a point you're like, honestly, I can't stand lemons anymore. And I wonder what apples taste like. Plant apples. Just like commit to the work of it and take your time, and it doesn't. I think sometimes we get sucked into that the choices we make at certain points in our lives are going to completely affect our lives, and they do, but also you can make different choices later on. And I talked a lot. Fernie, what do you got? I'm gonna pull another one around this.
But I like that you talk a lot because sometimes I don't feel like talking.
Whoa, I should wait. I gotta write this down somewhere. That's the first I heard.
That's mean. I sometimes am like completely mentally in quiet mode,
I know.
and you're like, why aren't you talking? Why are you so quiet? Why can I smell myself? I'm like, I don't know.
What?
It's funny because the minute that he asked me like, what's on your mind? I have like diarrhea of the mouth is what I have, and it's just and then I just can't shut up. So that's funny to me. Uh, Rena, so I actually think that you're going to go into a form. So I think you're going to progress in this field. So I'm studying psychology with a specific interest in criminology. Will I stick with this major and thrive in it, or will I choose a different route? I feel like you're going to go further with it. So I think you're going to thrive in it, but there's another layer you're going to end up adding into it that has to do with forensics. That has to do with forensics. If I took psychology, criminology, and forensics, and we look at specific situations where why did this person express this behavior in this moment of the event. So in other words, is like, why did they draw a star? Why did they do this? I for some reason feel like you're like a witch that's been reborn from another lifetime, and you're like, okay, enough with the symbolism. I need to figure out people, and that way I can come at it from a different angle. But there's still this like attachment to symbolism that's going to come up, and I can see you working on different types of cases once you get to that point. Different types of cases where when someone's got to investigate a crime scene and they're looking at the photos or the evidence, but certain things were laid out in a certain way where you're looking at the symbolism of the scene, or if someone drew a star on the wall, or if someone laid out a pattern in the area of the crime, or there's a lot of stuff there that is going to come up that you're going to just get sucked into even more so. And I don't think you're going to realize it until you work on a case. This isn't for about 4 years because it feels like it's going to take you a while to get through all of this. And I think you're going to try to go about this the traditional route and find work that kind of fits the requirement, that fits the needs of your degrees. But I keep thinking that in about 4 years from now, you're going to be leaning more into working on investigations and be brought on to work on. And it might start off with just a case that involves you having to be in court that has to do with something. And then all of a sudden you start building a reputation. There's something about you liking that dark side that is your soul's way of trying to trying to resolve some karma from your past. And so this time around, instead of contributing to the suffering, you're helping to reduce it or to bring closure and clarity and understanding. But I think that you're going to get a lot more involved with cases and things of that sort that are really fascinating, but also like I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years you're on an episode of some show that has to do with like an investigation. You know how you see those shows, what is that show? What is that show that everybody watches that's got to do with investigating crimes and like forensics files? The forensics files, where you've got specialists and people who are experts in their field. I would not be surprised if at some point down the road you actually end up on a show like that as an expert in your industry, in your field. By the way, have y'all been seeing the TikTok like 2 boys in Ohio find a skull in a river or whatever? Have y'all been seeing that like that clip that people have been like over? I had to go and watch the episode because of what episode is this? And because I was just so pulled and sucked in, and I had to go looking for it because everything online had the wrong episode on it, and it wasn't the episode that it said it was. It was a different episode, but the episode's called "By the Skin of Her Teeth," and it has to do with a woman who goes missing, and they find her remains in different places, but her skull in a lake. And these 2 boys were fishing and they find her, and then it progresses from there. But just so y'all know what episode it's called, because if you go looking for trying to figure out what episode that is, I was driving myself crazy. I'm like, what episode is this? I got to figure it out. So I have to type out the line from the TikTok clip that everybody's using. Anyways, I digress.
You think? Serena, the follow-up, I pulled the Empress, and the Empress is about it's about a lot of things, but in this instance, I think it is about trusting. First off, it's the sort of divine feminine in the deck. So encourage you to trust in yourself, be your own Empress. Some of it is the Empress is a little bit wild. The Empress is a little bit kind of just does what she wants. It's about sensuality and like abundance, and the Empress is often just in her garden luxuriating. And so I think the lesson there is, unless you came with us with what you are studying right now, and maybe you know the different paths you're going to choose, but it seems, and if you do and you didn't want to tell us, that's one thing, but you didn't tell us the different route. So stick with where you are and just trust in it. And trust in the process of growing something, of planting these seeds. And if it doesn't thrive later on, if that's okay. But like the Empress, man, she knows what's what. and she follows her impulses. This one is about a lot about sexuality and like have some fun with your body, which I'm not, I mean, do or don't do. That is entirely up to you. That's not the kind of advice I'll give on this stream, let's say. But she does encourage you to like trust yourself, trust in the flow of nature. It's about creativity and like abundance and just chill and do it.
Mhm.
Trust in yourself, and things may change later on. We never know what things happen.
Mhm.
But I'd say commit to what you're doing now, and if it doesn't feel right, then commit to figuring out what feels different.
Mhm.
And that's okay too. It's okay to change these things.
Let's see, you've got
Seeing some very lovely comments from y'all out there. Thank you. Very complimentary.
got
Baby,
about
can you? There we go. Because I.
and we've got about
School
2 or 3
counseling.
more.
Okay.
2 or 3 more.
School counseling. Oh, speak of the devil, the Empress. She pops up again in different form.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as maybe, I mean, so here's where I would ask you, like, what do you see in this image? What are you seeing? So we have this eagle looking over this field of wildflowers, and I don't have a good answer for you. I think you are the hawk right now, and I think things are feeling like a wildflower patch right now. Things are feeling a little unorganized, maybe uncertain. There is there's just like a wildness and a freeness to something out there. And the hawk is, that's a bird. So a hawk is in its nature in the air. And right now we have a hawk sitting in the field watching wildflowers. So I don't want to say bad news, and who the hell, I make no claims about predicting the future, but it might feel like, we don't see this beautiful, I'm sorry, it's actually an eagle if I haven't been saying that, like this beautiful eagle should be up soaring in the heights and looking out for things and seeing things. And instead and it's nothing wrong with it resting in a field of wildflowers, but it's not in the place where it's the most powerful right now. And I feel like maybe that's the message. And that's not maybe the nicest message or the message you want to hear around getting a counseling job soon. But if I had to, again, don't listen to me as far as future predictions. But it feels like that might be, or just maybe that's what you're feeling like right now. You're feeling like, like a sports car that's sitting in the garage. Like that thing is meant to be driving, to be driven fast. And so it does feel, ugh. But then I will go back to what we were just talking about with Rena and the Empress in that way. The Empress is also about like enjoying things, abundance, enjoying nature. So maybe she's just telling you to chill out, and life is an adventure if we choose to live it that way. And so maybe a thing, because the card that comes immediately next after her is the Emperor, and the Emperor is all about taking chaos and exerting control over it and putting things in neat little rows and holding up structures, and it feels very good. We need both energies in our lives. Fernie's raising his hand that he's got Emperor energy. We always need Emperor and Empress energy in our lives. We need someone to create. I mean, like, this is total Earth Mother energy, like creation itself, and letting a wild flowers grow and let the garden grow wild because it's wonderful and it's sensual and it's beautiful. And then the Emperor is there to structure things and make things happen and willpower. And you might just be in a place of sitting on the fence right now, which is not the nicest thing for me to tell you, but also, I don't know. Ferno, what do you see?
Well, she also followed up and said, I've had a terrible internship experience.
Oh, okay.
And I suspect, not only based on what you were saying, but also just what I was getting, is that it is a very disorganized. When I think of her situation, I'm reminded of something that happened with me back when I was moving from Denver to Houston, and I was trying to get into a store on the nice side of town because I come from the hood and I am not trying to deal with chaotic hood energy. But the only opportunity that was available for someone with my title, which was a supervisor, was in the hood in my own neighborhood in Houston. And so when I went into that store, it was this chaotic, just hot mess energy where nothing was going the way it was supposed to. I wasn't getting the support I needed. People didn't know what the hell they were doing. I was like, what the hell are you going to teach me? Or what the hell are you going to support me in? So it felt like just this really crazy situation. And I wasn't being utilized in the way that I felt I could have. So after the first or second week of being in that store, we all had a shift meeting, and I told my new boss and my new assistant manager and all the other shift supervisors, thanks for welcoming me, whatever. Okay, now let's get down to business. I made a list of all the stuff that needs to change ASAP. Not because I wanted to change. I have standards. I'm used to a level of operations in Starbucks. I'm trying to keep y'all from getting fired because the company's coming for y'all, and y'all could use me and help you to make these changes in the store because I'm the most senior person in the store at this point, or y'all can just dismiss what I have to say, but they're coming for y'all. So this is a list of everything that has to change. Why are tips so low? Either because someone's stealing them or because we suck at customer service. That's why tips are so low. Why are we not upselling every single time we have a new customer come in? Why are we not increasing that amount for each sale? So I knew what I was doing, and they just dismissed what I had to say because they're like, well, who do you think you are coming in here? You just barely started. And I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm like, you can dismiss all you want. That's not going to make a world of difference with your job being on the line. But I'm just telling you, I can be an asset or I can be an ass. It's one or the other. And so that's pretty much what it came down to. I know. So sure enough, someone was stealing tips. He got fired. Half the crew on that store got fired, and the assistant manager that was calling me out in that meeting a year later apologized and thanked me for not only helping him to become a better assistant manager, but also just vocalizing and vocally sharing what I had to say, expressing myself, and really trying to make a difference in that store. I think that you going into that environment with the people that you were supposed to work with in the internship, I feel like they were not prepared for you. And I honestly feel like they were not ready to give you the experience you needed to maximize your growth and your what was needed for you to get to the next stage. And so I kind of feel like it was kind of like, okay, here, sit here, but don't do anything that you're not supposed to be doing, but sit here. And you're like, there's a fire here. That girl's drowning. What the hell is happening here? And you're needing to get involved. You're needing to do something, but you're not being utilized properly. You're being sidelined sometimes. You're not being taken seriously. And they weren't prepared to give you the experience you needed to elevate yourself in your career. So I feel like you kind of got sucked out. You got stuck out, and you got screwed out of an opportunity to get better. Could you imagine if like someone who just got their medical degree went to a hospital? Okay, I'm here to do my residency, and then they were just like, okay, well, here, figure some things out. And they had to figure things out for themselves and not getting the support from the medical staff or from the people who have been there. Like, could you imagine if that were the case? Wow, would that be like a train wreck? So I think that's the kind of, yeah, she says, yes, exactly. So that's the kind of situation I think you were dealing with. To answer your question, because I'm going on a tangent, I do see you getting a job in 2 or 3 months, but it is for a counselor's position. Don't be surprised if they want to use you as a teacher at times, or you feel like you're not being utilized properly as a counselor, and instead you're being put in situations where you're just being like a substitute, and you might get really frustrated with that. Even though you may get frustrated with that, use that opportunity to develop skills and understanding about kids, about the needs of people, because I still think it can work for you. But at the end of the day, I still think you're going to get screwed out of the experience you want. So you're going to have to work a little harder to be heard, a little harder to assert yourself. Take that Fernie asshole energy and like apply it to the 9th degree, so that way you can get some more things done. Because sometimes being cooperative and being submissive doesn't work. So.
Also pulled as an action, it's the 4 of coins, which is often about poverty. Not necessarily poverty, but about saving what we have for a rainy day, for a winter. And sometimes the lesson in this one is that, like, don't just save things. Like, don't just hoard your resources. Don't just, but not necessarily even material resources, money, etc. Just like don't hoard yourself. Don't restrict the flow. Then things should flow out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Money should flow, resources should flow, energy should flow. This one is often about like stopping that up, but and it comes around the idea of a new job. Maybe it feels like save your money. That maybe you're going to want to save up for a rainy day, which is to say that maybe it's not going to turn out like what Fernie was saying. Maybe it's not going to turn out in the way that you're wanting here. But I will also say that even if we, you get to make a choice here in how you move forward and how you greet each new challenge or each opportunity. It can be very tempting and very easy. I say this for myself to be like, well, Fernie told me I wasn't going to get this, and Blaine was like, "Yeah, you're just sitting around not doing anything, and maybe you should save your money." And so, like things are going to go bad, and then we stop. Like part of the Four of Coins is like don't stop the flow of things. Don't save for saving's sake. Like again, you get to choose
Mm-hmm.
how you do it. So we might be wrong completely, but if you are looking. What am I trying to say? Uh, Human beings, we are geared for negative bias. So we're going to see the worst outcomes, and particularly if we are given advance warning or given advance counsel or whatever this is, and given advance entertainment that it might happen, then that's might be what we look for. And so then that will get reconfirmed that we see that, which is all just a very long-winded way of saying you might get the job. Don't let us tell you that it's not going to happen, and so that you don't put yourself out there. Keep putting yourself out there. If you don't get them, it will be disappointing, I'm sure, and it will have a lot of emotional energy, and it won't feel good, and it'll be disappointing. But also, don't let us in. Which is why I always feel Franny gets on me all the time about this. Is like, you don't ever like to give people bad news. I was like, well, first off, I can't promise that it is going to be bad news because, like, what do I know about the future? I'm really good at what's happening right now and what's happening with you, and I can see into you if you let me, and I can help you with you in this moment. I don't know about the future. I can say how it may go, but again, we get to make a choice about whether or not we choose to accept that future or not. But if that's all we're looking for, then that's going to be the thing that we find. So keep trying, keep open to it happening, because we may be completely wrong about this. And if we're not, and things don't go the way that you're wanting, again, it sucks. And there's no reason why it wouldn't suck. And there's no reason why it wouldn't hurt. But don't let precognition, or don't let us pre-ruin your picnic, because maybe the rain cloud isn't going to come through on your picnic. I'm just mixing up all sorts of words. Anyway, good luck. Good luck. And not only that, but it's not even about luck. Like, what can you do to further your chances? What can you do to look for opportunities when they present themselves to you? And even if a couple of guys on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram are like, not feeling like it's going to happen this year, don't let us keep you from trying. I guess maybe that's what I'm saying. It's easy to stop trying when we think that things aren't going to turn out our way. I say this from...
Yeah, she just said, um, it's like moving so fast. I can't keep up with all the words. She said, oh,
And particularly after a frustrating internship.
yeah, she says, yes, I was thinking of subbing in the meantime. Yeah, which is what I feel like you're going to have to, even if you get hired for the counseling job, which I believe that's what it is. They may also say, yeah, we're gonna transition you into that, and they hire you for that job, and you're still subbing, and they're still using you in a sub, and they're sublining. Yeah.
So you're going to be an eagle that isn't flying right now. Doesn't mean she's not flying. She won't fly in the future. Just means that you get to take it a little easy subbing, which not that subbing is easy by any means, but that you might not be doing the thing that you're meant to be doing, that you're designed to do, like an eagle. It'll happen. It just might not be right now.
Charlotte, or Victoria.
Alright.
Any message from my mom?
All right. Again, I will just say I do not have connection to spirits in that way, but let's see what the deck has to say, and we'll see what we can make of it. Because it would be nice to get some messages from the other side sometimes. Oh, well, okay. So I've talked about jumpers before when an extra card comes out. Well, two extra cards came out. So let's see which this might be a lot of information. So we'll see what we can make of it. Oh, it's that 7 of coins again. It's justice. And it's the Ace of Cups. I just don't know. That's fat finger. That's fat finger. I don't know. That's too much information for me. I'll be honest. That I'm gonna shuffle a different deck and pull a different card because that I don't know what to make of that right now for this question.
Yeah.
Unless your mom was like had a lot going on and she had a lot of opinions and a lot to say about a lot of things.
She
Because
did.
those are three very different cards.
She did.
Uh,
Yeah.
what do you? How about you, Fernando?
Yeah, so a couple of things. It's interesting because I definitely got when mom's energy was coming forward, immediately it was less about like these are the signs. It was more about like, what are we doing? I think your mom is very invested in your love life, relationships, and what you're dealing with or what's been going on. In a way, it's almost the idea of like whenever we have to stand up for ourselves, or we really have to make our own needs known instead of trying to be there for others or trying to like assist others in their needs and then like sidelining ourselves. I feel like there's a theme here that she's trying to acknowledge with you. I do think that she wants you to be happy. I do think that she wants you to get the most out of your life, but I also think that you sometimes have a tendency of considering other people's needs and you focus more on that than on your own needs. If you feel the need to make changes in a relationship to give yourself what you need, if you feel the need to even consider changing your entire life and the possibility of a move being part of that process, so be it. Even if it makes things better for you or if it improves your own goals, your own needs, your own career. And I feel like there's going to come a decision period for you where you have to choose other people or your own needs. And this is going to be a difficult period. I also think mom is, she's holding a baby with her. I'm not sure if there was a child that was miscarried, lost, or terminated, or if you're aware of one, or if there's actually been an attempt to try to have children and something's just not going the way it's supposed to. But she's holding a baby with her, so I believe that's her way of acknowledging that there is a child that was miscarried, lost, or terminated. And she's like, "Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry." So I'm thinking that there's something there that she's just wanting you to know about. If there was a child that was lost, she's just wanting you to know it's okay. She understands. She's got the child still with her. But if you are trying, I think she's trying to say, I've got this energy here. Don't worry. It's fine. I also think that she did try to wake you up in a dream, but you may have misunderstood what she was communicating, either because something looked off with her mouth or because the way she was communicating might have seemed a little frightening or scary. But I think that was more of your stuff getting mixed in with the dream than it was her. But I think she was just trying to come across and say that she's with you. And again, any decisions you have to make right now to make big changes in your life are warranted and it's okay. And that she's with you.
Okay, well, I didn't actually pull other cards because as Fernie started talking, I was like, oh, maybe these are working out after all. So take this exactly for what it is. I heard what he said, and I'm like, this applies. But so here we have, I'm feeling like this is putting off, I'm sorry for the glare. This is putting off your mom energy. This is justice, but not so much justice, but she's encouraging you, this strong female sitting on her throne, encouraging you, like Fernie was saying, to see things clearly and make the choices you need to make. See, justice sees black and white. Justice cuts through things. Justice got that sword to cut through the bullshit. And I get the sense that maybe that was your mom's energy and that she's looking out for you. So we have this strong female. And then we have the 7 of coins, which we just came up. Like, again, your mom's telling you, keep doing what you were doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy what you're growing and keep at it because what you're doing works. But also she wants you, this is the Ace of Cups. This is a new. This one came up earlier tonight too.
Mm.
Self-love, a new love of self, a new love of someone else. This is a new way of feeling. It's a rejuvenation source. So I think she's telling you like that it's to it's okay to feel differently. It's okay to feel a new way. Look for a new way of feeling. Look for a new way of living. See things clearly and keep doing what you're doing because it's working. Um, but again, that's just me going off of what Fernie's saying, but they kind of make sense to me. So I hope that resonates. Um, I didn't see what
Question,
that last
baby.
one said then.
Do something really quickly for me. Close your eyes
Yeah. Okay.
and just ask for any object or memory that comes up. Just tell me whatever pops up. Don't try to think about it.
I
Just
feel like I feel like I see like a crab or like a beach pail. You know, like the little plastic pails that a kid would take to the beach, or something about a crab.
okay.
That's what I got.
Okay. So if we were to apply that to this situation, let's say that maybe her mom is trying to acknowledge a trip that she recently took to the ocean and was thinking about her mom while she was at the beach, or there may be a picture or an image of them at the beach, and that might have been one of the last like trips or one of the last experiences that maybe she had with her mom, and it could represent that. But that would be immediately if I had that come up, I would like, okay, there's something there that I need to figure out what that's in reference to, because it is that simple for them to share information because all they're doing is just triggering what's in our heads. And like I said, everybody can do. Um, she's like, I've been waiting to go to the beach, but she's also no. But you remember, so part of that also part of that also, mama, is she's showing me shells, and so not only is she showing me the shells, she's because I'm asking her about what Blaine just saw, and then she's showing me shells, and she's talking about that there was either there had been a conversation or there was an idea about I wish I could have gone on a trip with her to the beach, or I wish I would have taken her to that cruise. Like there's something about that she's making reference to. And then she's showing me shells también. So there is something to what she was bringing Blaine or showing him that's connected to her. So you might have to give that a little thought because she's bringing that up. It almost reminds me of I'm almost seeing I'm even seeing like margaritas and such. So she's definitely acknowledging something that would be connected to the ocean that she is trying to make a point about. Um, let me see if she's going to mention that. I'm waiting for you to respond before I move on. And she's even there's a picture of her. It's a pier or the rocks. There's a picture of her. She's got a hat on. And this might have been when you were younger. Her nickname was Conchita. Ah, that's it. That's it. We were supposed to go to a resort. Her nickname is Seashell, and they were supposed to go to a resort.
Just like I said.
So
It's
she
you
was
trying
trying
to
to
quiz
communicate.
me.
Yeah, but it was like that. See, babe, it's like that. It's like that. Like it really is like that. She immediately popped in and said, "Let me show this gringo some. Let me show this gringo some shells and a
Oh,
beach or
how
like that."
dare you? She was showing me a crab. She was reminding me of my
She,
boyfriend.
yeah, yeah. But there it is. So I was like, no, she's like making a point about it. And I was like, there's something there that she's trying to show him. And immediately was like, her name was Conchita. So everybody can see that because some people are like, oh, well,
Oh
he's just
wow.
saying that. We can't see that. Well, now you can see it, fool. And we were supposed to go to resort. Yeah. She wants you to know that heaven has been like a resort for her. So she got her time. She got her time in. And I go to a beach in SF that she liked. Yeah. So she's just wanting to let you know her heaven's like that. It's like that place. Okay. All right. Ready for one more?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
Yeah. So I'm starting to get into my ready to zone out mode. Lainey, will my annual review and raise reflect the hard work I have done this past year?
I mean, before God, I hope so. Like, before I even pull a card. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to read this one. It's a beautiful card, and I love this card. It's one of my favorites. It's the star. So the one way to read this is the star is a sign of hope. The star is a sign of healing. The star is a sign of it's a good omen after a rough period. So I like that for you. Again, so I don't know if I can give you an answer here, a specific answer you're looking for, but I can talk around it here. So that is one way that you have had a rough year and you fucking deserve it. And so this is your sign of hope. The part where I'm a little bit like, maybe not, is that this star is so far away and it's coming. It just may not be at your review.
What do you mean, like in
and-
your interview?
I mean, well, like the annual review and raise. So you've done the hard work, you've struggled, it
Yeah.
should pay off. But part of this star is so far away,
Like in distance?
which is sorry, what now?
Like in distance?
Like in distance, that it may not be that it may not be, there are some images that come up. There are other, so in tarot, this is a little bit like how I would interpret this question. So let's say the sun came up for this question. Well, that feels like a pretty positive answer, even though the star is usually quite a positive card, particularly because it comes after the tower, which is about destruction and chaos, and that this is the next one after that. But it's not the sun, and it's not like a coin, and it's not. There are more obvious omens of wealth and success that I want to say omens, signs in the tarot deck. The star is positive. It really is. And it's a sign of hope. But part of a sign of hope, I mean, like, not to get too into this place, but like the midterm elections right now are my star. It's a sign of hope, but by God, we got to get there first. So depending on when your annual review is, you may not get the raise that you are deserving right now. It's coming, I think, down the line. And it should, and part of the star is that it's like a North Star, like it's our guide. It's our guide in the dark, and it will get us through the dark places. But the fact that it's not closer tells me that maybe it's coming. It's a good thing, but it's not right. It's not right away. So maybe if you're like, oh, Blaine, my annual review is not actually until like 9 months away, I'd be like, oh, well, maybe it will then. But if it's coming up immediately, I just kind of feel like, and maybe some of this is just contextually, like I know what's going on out in corporate world right now, and doesn't feel like it's the most generous place for workers in this world right now. So I want it to be that you're going to get it because I know you've worked hard and you beyond deserve it. I just feel like maybe it's not going to be too soon. Not as soon as you want it to be, but to not give up hope that the star is out there. So partly I hope the good parts resonate with you, and partly I hope the time doesn't resonate with you, because I just want all good things for people, all good people. But I don't know, baby, what do you see?
Yeah, I am. I think you're going to be pissed and disappointed. I don't think that the annual review is going to be enough of a raise to reflect your hard work. However, part of that is you may not be the only one that's going to be dealing with that, because I feel like they've kind of put freezes on certain levels of increases. I do think that there may be an off-cycle review that comes up in February, and then at that point, I can see your income increasing again. So I don't think it's going to happen in the timing that you are normally granted a review and increase and raise. I feel like that's why when he was talking about the star, I immediately knew what he was referring to in my head, because I kept seeing far away. Like, this is going to be way more time than you want it to be. So I don't see it happening now or in the next 2 or 3 months. I feel like this is going to take a bit longer than that, and you may not get it until February of next year. So you might just have to be patient, but I do think you're going to be disappointed, be pissed, and it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, but it's coming. Just give it a little bit of time. They'll make it up to you.
And so I asked, like, if that's the case, what's an action? What can you do to sit with that weight and possible disappointment? And it is the Page of Cups. And so the Page of Cups, a lot of the traditional meanings is like find your inner child,
Yeah.
dwell on creativity, Embrace, that page energy is all about like little kid playing with a new toy kind of energy, and it's cups, so it's about your emotional world. But I really want you to look at this. This is where I'm going to lean more into the image on the card. So we have this fish, literally a fish out of water. You're going to feel like a fish out of water. But also look, I can't tell the detail that this is going through, but like that little fish is in this little bowl floating on the pond, and he's looking up at these cherry blossoms. So partly that'd be like, oh, cherry blossoms, is that a sign of spring? Is that something to keep in mind for as far as timing?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's encouraging you that when you're feeling like a fish out of water, if this disappointment should happen, try to, instead of dwelling on it, instead of I mean, be angry by all means, feel whatever feelings you have, but also try to find the wonder and the whimsy out in the world. Try to enjoy your life, and maybe some of it is that though we've worked hard, find a way to enjoy the world around you. Like, to not, if there's a way to not focus, not give so much to your work that maybe won't reward you in the way that you deserve. Embrace that idea of the inner child, and like find the things that bring you joy. Find the things that like bring you whimsy, delve into creative pursuits. Even just like look at take time to enjoy the cherry blossoms. Like take time to stop and look at the roses in life, because life moves pretty fast, and sometimes if all we're waiting for is our next annual review, our next raise, we miss a lot of life waiting for these benchmarks out there. So while it possibly may not happen in the time you want or in the way you want, try not to let it fuck up your life. You have a control here. You can choose to enjoy your life in ways that have nothing to do with work. And there are plenty of cost efficient ways of enjoying life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, if you just, not you particularly, but if anyone just constantly chases that next bit of success, that next pay raise, that next thing, our fucking culture teaches us that that's
Obsessed.
how we should do it.
Yeah.
And so
Never enough.
we lose track of the things in life that bring us joy, the simple things.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is about not necessarily being the fish out of water, but making yourself the fish out of water, taking time to remove yourself from the usual environment, to like just stop and enjoy life a little bit
Yeah.
if you can. I know that may be cold comfort if you are needing that raise, and certainly you've worked hard, and we both know and see that. And it may just not be, you may not get the result that you're hoping for, but I hope that you can find, it's not about like look on the bright side, like completely ignore it. But,
Mm-hmm.
like, take time to enjoy life. Life is an adventure,
Yeah.
and we spend so much time focused on what we do and how we're paid for it, so that we can buy whatever next thing. And I mean, not just that, not that it's about like buying new things, but like we live in a very money, success, stuff driven world. And like, man, there's just like beautiful things out there if we just choose to look for them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's really long-winded advice that maybe you didn't want. Um, but like, again,
Yeah.
much like sorry, I forgot her name, who's looking for the job soon.
She'll
We
get it.
really want you to get that. We really want you to get that raise. We really want your annual review to go well.
She'll get
But if
it.
it doesn't,
Yeah.
how can you make life more fulfilling beyond that? That raise, that annual review, is not a measure of who you are as a person.
Which
So how can you reconnect to that and enjoy who you are and what you like beyond work hours,
and
beyond
I've
paycheck?
also I've also noticed that when we, and this is something that I've had to work on myself, when I apply meaning and value to myself, and I try to hold to the idea that I have value and worth, regardless of how others speak about me or what others think of me or how others feel about me or whatever, it, it, it I tend to elevate energetically, and things seem to be easier sometimes in life. Things come easier, and I am able to enjoy the moment more. I mean, it's always nice to be validated by people or by the money people give us. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, but yeah, but when is enough? Like, when are you going to really be able to enjoy your life for what it is and not for what you think it should be? Because it's always going to not be what you think it should be
Right.
unless you're really good in manifesting an alignment. And most people are not. So,
There's always a some further benchmark or some further measurement that we put on ourselves that
Yeah.
we'll always be reaching for, which is not to say that ambition and drive are bad things at all, not at all. But there's a certain, like anything, we need balance in life. And particularly if you've been working really hard the last year and you're looking for remunerative compensation for it, it's hard to,
Mhm. I'm gonna
sorry,
answer
baby, you're
one
about
real
to say,
quick, baby. Yeah, before we get off, I'm gonna answer this one real quick. Shannon, any info on my lost dog? Was he kidnapped? Okay, so this is the weird thing about it. I normally don't see like weird soap opera stuff when it comes to these kinds of situations. In this case, I'm gonna say this feels really weird to me. I'm wondering if, first of all, I feel like I do think that the dog was taken. I don't think that the dog just got lost. I feel like the dog was taken. I also feel like the dog was taken by someone that you know. I also feel I don't feel like the dog's being mistreated or that is in duress, but I do feel like it's whenever it's a weird situation. Like, for example, let's say I had an ex and the ex is trying to get back with me, or the ex has been trying to reach out or whatever, and they are upset at
what?
my dog. Or if I'm with someone in a relationship and that person's ex or someone they're connected to is like I'm gonna take their dog, or it's like it feels like there's some sort of like affiliation of like I feel like the person that took this or know the person that took the dog, and it felt very intentional. It didn't just feel like, oh, that's a pretty dog, I'm gonna take it. It's more of like I know she loves that dog, and like and what I would say to you is you might be able to find out who this is if you look at the social media pages of people that you know who you don't follow but have some like suspicious ties to like either your ex or the ex of someone you're with. If you look at their social media pages, I feel like they're stupid enough that they would have posted themselves with the picture of the dog, like, look at my new dog. Like, bitch, like, you took that. Did you not think that they were going to see that? Like, I keep thinking it's someone that stupid that took the dog thinking that nobody would know. But and I do think that they're planning on like keeping the dog, but I feel like it's something weird like that I keep thinking about. So I feel like this is a completely weird situation with the dog. Please let me know if you find out more, if you figure out who's got your dog, because I keep thinking it's someone that you would be familiar with or would know of. So that's a good question. I hope you do, and I feel like it's possible, but I feel like you got to narrow down, and then you got to like provide that evidence to, because I mean, if you can take a screenshot of the person with the dog in the freaking picture or in the video, I feel like you could provide that as evidence and try to get your dog back. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay. All right, guys. Thank y'all
Okay,
so.
well, before we,
What?
well,
Well,
wow,
go for
why
it.
are you,
Go no, go for
why are
it.
you
Go.
cutting
I
up,
didn't know.
Nick?
I didn't think you would want to.
No, I pulled a card. Like, I see the people out there on the TikToks pulling their cards for people, and so I thought we all need a little bit of just like,
Mm,
what are some themes? What's some
mm,
guidance coming up? And so, like, what would be good for all of us? And then I pulled the death card. But again, another jumper, growth.
growth.
So death, not a scary card. I mean, it looks scary. Death is the natural part of any life, any function, anything. Things we must leave behind old chapters to move into next places. To In order for growth, things must be left behind. And so it was a beautiful reminder of that's the cycle of things. And it's sometimes no, wrong card. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it hurts, sometimes we don't want to change, but we grow from change, any change. And so, particularly Ferno, I know, I mean, I say this like I won't talk to you immediately after this, but like, I know you have a big change coming up soon. I also have a big change coming up soon, and that there's growth in that. But partly, some other, damn this reverse thing, some other part must be left. Nope, wrong card. Some part must be left behind in order to facilitate growth. Anyway, I mean, that's a pretty like, so for all of us, and maybe that death refers to something else out there in the world, and that we can all grow from that.
Mm.
But I've also spent entirely too much time on TikTok the past few days, so.
It could also mean that she's about to whoop someone's ass and take them out, and that's gonna be the end of that interaction, 100% going forward. And she's gonna. That's also what it means. But right, guys.
Thank you to everyone who joined us. Sorry if we didn't get to your questions. And thanks for spending some time with us.
We love y'all, and I will hopefully be back sooner rather than later, so I can get this to become a habit again. But I love y'all.
I'll make sure you know.
Yep. And go to the websites right here, FernandoMarone.com, BlanePlasticSmith.com. I mean, like,
did you say plastic? Blame Plastic Smith?
I got all like my voice, my words are like starting to get all. So, bye everybody. Love you,
everybody. All right, baby. I'll see you on the other side.
Okay.